afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, following a string of fatal road accidents, transport officials are tightening measures for drivers. With just a week to go before the midterm polls get are leading the race. Tragedy averted as police thwart a bomb attack planned for Lady Gaga's massive concert in Rio de Janeiro. And Gigi Hadid hard launches her romance with Bradley Cooper. Thanks for joining us. We begin with transport officials tightening measures for drivers following two fatal accidents along the SCTEX and NAIA. Our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga, monitored the press briefing this morning. She joins us now on the line. G, what can you tell us?
Following a string of tragic road accidents of people dead and injured, Transport Secretary Vincent admits that the current road and traffic system is a big issue. The SFX road crash last May 1st left 10 people dead, and the accident at NAIA Terminal 1 yesterday killed 2 people, including a 5-year-old. During the Holy Week, transport agencies also recorded hundreds of road accidents, and people do not feel safe in our roads anymore. Secretary Dizon there several measures to be implemented by the DOTR to solve this, including regular and mandatory drug tests for PUV drivers every 90 days. The department order will be signed today and will be in effect immediately. He also ordered the LTO to come up with very strict and enforceable road safety checks that are aligned with international standards. The transportation chief is also aware of anomalies in acquiring driver's licenses, and LTO Chief ASEC Vigor Mendoza says changes will be made across the board. Secretary Dizon earlier formed a road safety task force composed of the DOTR and its attached agencies, and they will be submitting their full report next week. He says they will also be tapping the private sector and civic societies to help with driver education. He also wants the speed limiter law to be implemented as soon as possible and to address supplier problems if needed. He also welcomes calls for the creation of a public transport safety board and will support the Congress in this. On Solid North Bus Company, LTFRB Chairman Chofilo Guadi said all of its buses will undergo motor vehicle inspection and drivers to be tested for illegal drugs. Mai?
G, about the NAIA accident yesterday, did officials mention the latest on the investigation?
Secretary Dizon says the investigation by the PNP is still ongoing, but many pointed out that the security bollards, and according to Secretary Dizon, NAIA Corporation President and Leonardo Ramon Ang will look into the matter, and they will most likely be replaced.
G, what about the latest on the driver of that SUV that rammed through people at the NAIA Terminal 1 yesterday? Is there anything new that we know about the driver?
Yes, Mai. The driver is still in police custody, but Secretary Dizon is mum on further details since the investigation is still ongoing.
Thank you for that report, G. Baroga. Lawmakers call for stricter road safety measures following the fatal crash at the NAIA. Senator Grace Poe is pushing anew for the creation of a Philippine Transportation Safety Board. She said there should be a agency solely dedicated for investigating transportation-related accidents in air, land, and sea. That's amid what Poe describes as alarming statistics of road mishaps and fatalities. Senator Win Gatchalian, meantime, calls for a more stringent procedure in granting a driver's license. He also reiterates the need to instill to motorists the necessary road safety tips and behaviors for a safer road environment. Exactly 1 week to go before the country's midterm elections, and polls show administration-backed candidates are still leading the Senate race. Alianza bets like Erwin Tulfo, Tito Soto, Bong Revilla, and Ping Lacson are again included in the projected winning circle in the latest Pulse Asia survey. But Senator Bongo of PDP Laban still tops the list. Also in the possible Magic 12, Bato de la Rosa, Willie Revillame, Manny Pacquiao, and Bam Aquino. Just outside the list are Senator Amy Marcos and Philip Salvador. The survey was conducted from April 20 to 24. Election campaigns head into the final stretch this week. Let's get an update on the Manila mayoral race with our correspondent Paulo Barcelon. Now on the line with us. Paulo, what's the latest on the campaign trail in the capital?
Good afternoon, Mai. The three major mayoral bets are grinding to get momentum as the battle for control of the nation's capital heats up. Early this morning, Manila City Mayor Hani Lacuna led the flag ceremony at the City Hall grounds, where she was greeted by employees commemorating her birthday tomorrow. Lacuna also announced it for City Hall employees and thanked them for their service. Now, after fulfilling her mayoral duties, Lacuna is set to hit the campaign trail this afternoon, and campaign Pandacan area of Manila, where her fiercest rival and former governance partner, Isko Moreno de Magoso, is set to hold the first of their meetings de avance later tonight at around 6. This district, is a battleground for legislative and house control, as incumbent Representative Benny Abante is allied with Lacuna's Ascenso Manileño, one of the more prominent personalities in the House investigation on the war on drugs. Abante's opponent in the House race is Yorme's choice candidate and longtime Pandacan councillor Joey Uy. Meanwhile, Mai Bilyonaryo and tutok to win party list Representative Sam Verzosa made the rounds in the vote-rich 5th District, which includes Paco, Ermita, San Andres, Intramuros, and Malate. His pledge to voters is fighting against corruption and bringing basic services closer to the poor. Verzosa is set to return to his bailiwick of Sampaloc this afternoon, also to continue his house-to-house sorties. Mai?
Paulo, what did you notice about the strategies employed by the mayoral bets this year compared to previous elections? Were there differences?
Well, on the camp of Mayor Isko Moreno, this is now being held per district. So just like their proclamation rallies, they are holding a meeting advance per legislative district of Manila. Say later tonight there will be for Pandacan. As for Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna, she focuses first on her duties as the chief executive of Manila before hitting the campaign trail, while Sam Verzosa is doing what he calls the Esquinita Serie, or he goes house to house in different neighborhoods and holds these small gatherings in basketball courts or other public places that make him more accessible and at least give him an image of someone who is more accessible compared to his opponents, Mai.
Thank you, Paulo Barcelon there reporting to us. We're just days away from the Papal conclave. More than 130 cardinals under the age of 80 will enter the Sistine Chapel on May 7th to vote for the next leader of the Catholic Church. On Sunday, cardinals attended the final morning mass for the late Pope Francis, with French Cardinal Dominique Mamberti leading the prayer on the last day of Novendiali at St. Peter's Basilica. Pope Francis died on April 21 due to a stroke and heart failure. He was 88. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump continues to receive criticism over his posting of an AI-generated image of him as the Pope. Trump, who is not Catholic, shared a photo on his Truth Social platform less than a week after attending the funeral of Pope Francis. U.S. Cardinal and New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan says the image wasn't good. He asserts it made a bad Catholic bishops of New York State. They say there is nothing clever or funny about the image. They also tell Trump not to mock them. I don't know. That's Donald Trump's response after being asked if he believes he must uphold the U.S. Constitution as president. Trump, who has been aggressive in undocumented migrants, was specifically asked whether American citizens and non-citizens alike deserve due process as stated in the Constitution.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as
I
president?
don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Trump also says he is seriously considering a third term, which requires changing the Constitution. President Trump extends his trade war to the movie industry. He says he is imposing a 100% tariff on all films produced outside the U.S. Trump claims the industry in America is dying a very fast death as other countries are offering incentives to allegedly draw filmmakers and studios. Trump alleges a coordinated campaign by foreign nations, adding that the issue is a national security threat. Brazil police say they thwarted a bomb attack planned for Lady Gaga's massive concert in Rio de Janeiro last Saturday. It was said to be orchestrated by a group promoting hate speech and the radicalization of teenagers. Their supposed leader and the teenager were arrested. Police say the suspects were recruiting participants, including minors, to carry out coordinated attacks. They even posed as members of Gaga's fan base, known as Little Monsters. More than 2 million fans attended the pop star's free mega concert at Copacabana Beach. We're taking a break. Still to come, Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper are now Instagram official. Entertainment and sports up next. Stay with us. It's LaSalle versus NU once again. The battle for women's volleyball supremacy in the UAAP. Lady Spikers defeated the USP Golden Tigresses in a four-set thriller over the weekend to secure their trip through the championship stage. This will be the 21st women's volleyball finals appearance of legendary LaSalle tactician coach Ramil. Meanwhile, the NU Lady Bulldogs had to fend off a tenacious FEU Lady Cameral squad in 5 sets. The reigning queens are determined to defend their title and complete back-to-back victories in the final season of their veterans Bella Belen and Light. In the PBA Philippine Cup, the TNT Toronto 5G finally victorious after 4 games. The Grand Slam seeking team barged into the win column after a good game against San Miguel Beerman at the United Center. Final score 89-84. TNT cranked things up in the endgame when Simon and Ciso knocked down a huge corner three down the stretch. Best player of the game, Calvin Oftana, had a big game with a double-double of 23 points and 21 rebounds. In the first game, the Magnolia Chicken Templados hot shots hooking up a 33-point beatdown of the Terra Firma Jeep. Final score wasn't even close, 127-94. Best player of the game, Zabe Lucero, led Magnolia with a near double-double of 17 points and 9 rebounds. Hot shots remain flawless and on top of the standings with a record of 5 wins, 0 losses. It's on to the next one for the Denver Nuggets after a grind-out win in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Nuggets shut down the LA Clippers in a 7-game series to set up their semifinals matchup in the West against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman and guard Christian Braun tells us how they were able to escape the Clippers at home court while looking forward to their upcoming assignment in the playoffs.
I felt like last year, obviously, the team had a missed opportunity. I felt like we should have won. Obviously, they were a better team that night, but I just felt like there was opportunity left on the table, and I feel like I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be more. Everybody wants to play more, but I just thought that, in that game, I felt like I was playing well and wanted to play more minutes. Everybody wants that. Everybody, in the league wants that, and I got that.
The end of Game 6, Christian made a couple threes late, and you lose that game. You say, those weren't big shots. For him, they were. And you saw the rhythm was better. 8 for 15, 3 for 5 from 3. Just complete team win. Aaron Gordon, 9 for 16, playing through contact in the paint. Russ, obviously the energy he brought. Peyton Watson, DeAndre Jordan. Everybody brought something. And when you do that, you know that your two best players eventually are going to get going after a tough start. And they did.
Shifting gears to motorsports, McLaren's Oscar Piastri completes a winning hat trick in Formula One as he reigns supreme in the Miami Grand Prix. The Australian once again brought the thunder from down under in South Beach early this morning. Piastri extended his lead in the championship race to 16 points over his teammate Lando Norris, who finished second. George Russell of Mercedes completed the podium at third place. In entertainment, the latest Marvel movie, Thunderbolts, proves to be a hit. The film brought in $162 million worldwide over the weekend. While it had a slow start in China due to movie import limitations, figures from the rest of the world were positive. Starring Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan, the film sets the stage for Marvel's Fantastic Four in July and Avengers Doomsday next summer. Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper are Instagram official. The supermodel hard launched their romance by posting a photo of them kissing. It's part of a series of images that Gigi shared from her star-studded birthday bash last month. In the caption, she wrote, "I feel so lucky to be 30 for every high and low, and for all the lessons and gifts both have brought me." Gigi and Bradley first sparked dating rumors in 2023, and she opened up about their relationship in an interview with Vogue in March, saying they met at a birthday party of a child of a mutual friend. Before we go, all eyes on the Papal conclave, which is set to begin May 7th. Among the top contenders to succeed the late Pope Francis is Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. If elected, he would be the first pontiff from Asia in modern history. Tagle served as Archbishop of Manila before being tapped by Francis in 2019 to lead the Vatican's evangelization office. In an interview with Reuters, a priest recalled his memories with Tagle at the seminary in Ateneo de Manila University. They first met in 1973 when the country was under martial law, and the seminary was a place of quiet resistance and reflection.
So he was this very skinny boy from Imus, Cavite, and very quiet. But then if you start talking to him, he's a conversationalist. He was very good in bridging the gap between individuals and groups. He was a facilitator. Chito made a mark for himself in academics. Everybody knew that he was brilliant. And as early as that time, it was, I think prophetic that some of the professors who knew how brilliant he was saying he will become cardinal in the 70s. And when they got tired of saying he will become cardinal, from time to time, he might even become pope. Would you imagine? In his youth, he already showed an exceptional, perhaps exceptional qualities that made people think that he will go very far in the ecclesiastical ladder, and which many years later happened.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.